Good. All right, so we're going live. I'm putting the information in here, and we're going live, Sonia.
Okay.
All right, looks like we are streaming live on Facebook. How you doing this week, Sonia?
I'm doing good. You know, I had a big birthday.
Good. Happy birthday
Yes, so thanks for holding the fort down last week. In my absence, you and Mike Roberts, some amazing information.
Yeah, we were holding it down, me and Dr. Michael V. Roberts out of St. Louis, who was in Detroit, at his hotel in Detroit, on the Riverwalk, right across from Canada. So,
yeah, and people need to go back and check out both of his shows because he just dropped so much gems, and we were just lucky that during the quarantine, he had more time to spend and give us those nuggets, which was one of the books I took to the lake with me was Action Has No Season.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got to read that and got a lot of, insight. It was amazing. So even though I wasn't with you guys, I was, had the book and I was there in presence.
Right. So it's teaching you how to pivot and crack the code of wealth, the new code of wealth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is exciting. So before we get too far gone, I'm Sonia Booker, wealth builder, real estate developer, investor, and just excited to be here today and excited about this show. When you think about pivoting and how the film and entertainment industry is working, especially in Atlanta, I'm really excited about that because we're opening that new studio, Studio House Atlanta. So
Studio House Atlanta, amazing things coming. That's very exciting, very exciting. So today we have an amazing show with two bright and talented young ladies. This show is entitled Lights, Camera, and Ready for Action. 75 productions need 40,000 workers in Georgia. So Georgia is poised to become the new Hollywood is what they're saying, and that's been the question that we posed to our audience, as we promoted the show. And these young ladies will definitely help us to talk about that, help us to find out where the opportunities are, how they've had to pivot, how the industry is having to pivot, and where the opportunities are. So, we're ready to,
and even some money, where some money is.
Yeah, where the money is. That's what I'm saying.
We gotta know it. And I think with the shows that we've been doing around digital currency and digital content and understanding the value of your content is really timely from a wealth building standpoint, and how do you use and build that, and why this is a good season for that, I think is what the audience is gonna find out today. So without further ado,
let's bring these ladies on so we can introduce them and get things rolling. So if y'all ladies will, want to unmute you, and we want to bring you on as panelists. Let's see. We have it here. All right, so we promoted the ladies to panelists, and just need to bring the video on. All right. So just click your video. Take yourself.
I love it. Hi, welcome to the new Code of Wealth. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing good. Now what? I want tree braids and braids. Now I want braids.
I was just looking at that, Cardellia. You got twister braids too.
Take yourself off mute, Cardellia. Hit the unmute button. You're still muted. There you are.
I've been on a workout for the last 7 weeks, so I needed braids in my hair so that I can accomplish my goal.
That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. Well, welcome, ladies. When you think about the film industry, and we were talking about really in different industries, we've been really wanting to bring information about how those industries look totally different than they did just 90 days ago, and how everybody's having to pivot in, you know, a different direction. And so what worked in the film industry, you know, 90 days ago no longer works, but that brings about some new opportunities. And so we definitely wanted to, couldn't think of better people to talk to than you two in terms of how that's all working, how Georgia's leading the way, Atlanta in particular. And just want Cardellia, if you would just give a brief introduction of who you are and what you're bringing to the conversation. I think that'd be a great start.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. I'm Cardellia Hunter, Director for the Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment for the City of Atlanta. I oversee the permitting process for productions that would like to film in the City of Atlanta. And today I'm hoping I'm just bringing some good vibes on what we have, you know, to look for in the next couple of months as productions start to roll back in with filming here. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. GlenNeta?
Hey.
Hey.
Let's say 60-second intro of who you are and what makes you so amazing.
Oh, awesome. Well, again, thank you both for having me on the show. My name is GlenNeta Griffin. I am an actress, writer, and producer. I'm also a mom of 3 actors, 3 kid actors. So we stay really busy in the industry. I'm the CEO and the founder of the Georgia Media Academy and the president and CEO of the Media Kids Foundation. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that later on in the show and some of the things that we're doing with kids until they get back in school, because we're trying to keep them busy and from driving us crazy as well. So we have some programs that we pushed out for them, but I'm really excited to be here. I studied film and television and creative writing, and I've been in the industry for over 22 years. So just excited to share some information and talk to people today about breaking into the industry. I don't want people to think that just because all of this is going on, you can't be doing something at home to continue to work on your craft and build your skills. So I want to encourage some of the audience today.
That's awesome. And I'm trying to share this video because I definitely want this.
The copy of the link being pasted on in your Facebook.
Yep, so I had to find it, and so yeah. All right, so are we showing any videos?
Yes. So to set the tone, we wanted to show a news clip with Sharon Reed. They did a while ago, I would say probably about 6 months ago, just talking about the film industry, and just to kind of set the tone of where the film industry is in Atlanta, in Georgia, and you know, what's happening. So we want to play this quick video, a news video, to kind of set the tone for that. So if you will, I'll share my screen and enlarge the screen so that we can share this video, this news clip.
The film and television industry here in Georgia generating more than $9 billion a year in economic impact and thousands of jobs. It's all thanks to the tax credits making the Peach State the Hollywood of the South.
Yeah, we don't want it to go anywhere, right? But local filmmakers tell Astrid and the ATL more original programming needs to be created.
One second, it's saying
Georgia has worked hard to attract Hollywood.
Cardellia probably could do the, she probably could give us the, all those highlights.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I know she want to give us the highlights. I wanted to play this here. Let's try it one more time.
Okay.
Industry here in Georgia generating more than $9 billion a year in economic impact and thousands of jobs. It's all thanks to the tax credits making the Peach State the Hollywood of the South.
Yeah, we don't want it to go anywhere, right? But local filmmakers tell Astrid and the ATL more original programming needs to be created in the business here. Georgia has worked hard to attract Hollywood, and experts say it's going to take a lot more than just tax incentives to lure productions here. Productions like the next one you're about to see, where everything and everyone is made in the Peach State. Movie studios are putting down roots and setting up shop. Since 2008, the entertainment tax credits have served their purpose to bring Hollywood to Georgia. But tax incentives can come and go as fast as saying,
Great and action.
If the credits were to ever dry up, local filmmakers already have a plan in motion to keep Georgia's title as the Hollywood of the South.
Everybody knows that the film industry is here in Georgia with the tax incentives and things like that, and we're so excited to have that opportunity. But one of the things that's important for our legislators and other filmmakers to know is that in order for us to have sustainability, we have to start to cultivate our own entertainment.
I don't know if that's going to be strong enough. Homegrown companies are hard at work developing their own content.
That means writers, directors, producers, investors, and they need to be from Georgia so that we can have an economies of scale, so that the money stays here and can continue to grow and be sustainable along with the tax incentive.
All right. So that's where the Georgia film industry is. So I know, Cardellia, you can definitely lead with that and just kind of bring us up to par with, you know, what has transpired since mid-March in terms of the industry shutting down, and now we're restarting now with these new COVID guidelines in place.
Right. So yes, we've slowed down tremendous since March, and it just put everybody on hold. But then it brought up something new in regards to what it's going to look like when productions, you know, come back here. And so while the major productions are still trying to make sure that their best practices are not only put in place, but they actually work, we do have commercials that are starting to return back and come here. And I think one of the reasons why everyone is coming here right now, because for sure Los Angeles and New York is still kind of shut down. So a lot of commercials are coming back in, and you know, we're ready for them. And it's pretty good for us because the Georgia Film Commission office put in the best practices in regards to what your set should look like, especially if you're an independent filmmaker, student film, you know, commercial video that don't have the big studios behind them. It gives them a layout of what it should look like. And so the good thing about it is that, you know, it's always a trial and error, but by us starting off slow and with the commercials and videos, you know, we're looking to see if there's anything on our end that we need to hone in just to make sure that everyone, continues to be safe, and that we have dotted all of our I's and crossed our T's so that when the major productions do come back, that we'll be ready for them with, you know, everything ready to go.
So what are the new guidelines, real quick, if you will? I know.
Well, you know, of course, if you have, you know, social distancing has to be in place. So that means that when you're used to seeing so many on set at one time, they'll come in and out in phases. Set deck might be one day, grips and electro might be the same day, but a little earlier. Learning how to, you know, use a smaller background cast to, you know, take different shots and then go into the big screen to be able to put them, you know, together as if it looks like we had 200 or 300 people on set. I mean, catering is totally different. It's more of not buffet style anymore, but more, you know, packed up lunches ready to go. Thinking about acting and the actresses when they're on set, how do they actually, you know, what is going to be the protocol for them to be able to work and do, you know, close scenes together. So it's going to be different because the sets are definitely going to be smaller in what they do. Yes, they're going to have to really get creative on, you know, how they kind of make everything kind of work together. Right now, you know, it's 50 or less really in a gathering, but still being able to do those best practices when it comes to filming.
Yeah, now I know you have a question, Sonia, but I want to just chime this in. One of my producer friends was saying that they were looking for, say if they have a scene with a husband and wife, they were looking for actors that are actually husband and wife to use them in a scene and then use their kids as extras. So now that limits and it kind of puts them in a bubble to actually shoot the scene. Have you witnessed that, GlenNeta?
Yeah, I wanted to weigh in on that. So my husband is, I call him a trained professional in the industry with the family because I'm, you know, I've been an actress, and then all three of our kids, we have 2 boys and a girl, they're all actors. And we are with the Jana Van Dyke agency, and they've actually been putting us on auditions or sending us auditions specifically for families. So it's a great thing because my husband is he's not an actor, he's in real estate, but he's not against acting, you know what I mean? So if he has to kind of step in and be my husband, he's like, yeah, you know, I'll do it. But I have been booked as my children's mom more and auditioning more with them, which is awesome for me. Like, I love playing their mom anyway, you know, on television, because it kind of helps them when they're on set anyway. But we have been seeing those roles, and I've been telling people that as well. So if you do have children that are in the industry and trained in the industry, now is the time to properly package yourself and let them know that, hey, we're available for casting. You know, I've done commercials as my daughter's mom, and I've done films as my son's mom, and things like that. So I think it's really great if the family is all packaged together, because you can actually, you know, sit together and be on set together, or just come to set when you're needed anyway. So families are definitely something that I think a lot of production is going to be looking at to get through COVID.
Awesome.
So, and so would you recommend like packaging, so family packaging as well as couple packaging, and,
Yes.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like, we work off of casting sites like Actors Access, and they're based on individual profiles. But what you can do is add those family photos, showing them and painting the picture for them, showing them, okay, well, this is the husband, this is what the wife looks like, you know, this is what the children look like. And Disney does it a lot. We get a lot from Disney where they're actually looking for families that can actually be on set together, and the family already kind of looks paced together. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that if you package it together, if you don't have any photos, they don't have to be professional, but if you have someone that can take a family photo of you guys in your regular routine, don't put on Sunday best. I recommend looking like an average day if you're doing a cereal commercial, or, you know, an outside fitness commercial, something like that. Just in your regular routine and in your regular clothes, so that they can see what you look like. You know, a lot of working with producers is painting the picture for them, showing them, you know, what this can look like, or, you know, meeting them halfway. So they don't have to go and try to put the whole family together. The family is already put together. You just have to make sure they know that you're available to be booked that way.
Now,
And that's the challenge.
Yeah, what about Zoom auditions? Because a lot of casting agencies are hosting Zoom auditions. So talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Zoom auditions where they'll actually have the family all together, and with the cameras pushed back, they really want to see what the families are like in their own interaction. Like, how do you interact together naturally and things like that. And then, I mean, yeah, with Zoom, we're doing everything via Zoom right now, or self-tape. Self-tape is really big right now too. They will send you over specific directions or instructions on how to tape. So they may actually have each person step in individually, and then they want to see everybody together. So that's part of being prepared as well. If you don't have camera equipment at home, and I'm not saying run out and buy a very expensive camera, or if you don't have a phone, you might need to get a tripod, you know, order one on Amazon just to have at home, so you can prop it up, flip it around, and start filming yourself at home. And just be ready. The problem that I've run into working with people, especially through the academy, is that, you know, they wait till they see an opportunity and then they try to go and get ready. But if you're already prepared and using this time is perfect to brush up on your headshots and your resume and your demo reels and get all of that stuff together, so that when they call and say, hey, I need a wife and a husband and 2 kids, like, I'm just sending you the information. It's just for you to choose us and book us, you know what I mean? So it's a really great time to go ahead and put all that stuff together right now. And, you know, lights, I heard you guys talk about ring lights earlier. I'm not at home right now. I'm actually up in another state, but I do normally have ring lights and all that kind of stuff, you know, set up just for that kind of stuff. So you got to really set up a home studio, because I hate to say it, but it really is. Some of these things are going to be a new normal, you know? And until we know, there's so many unknowns with COVID, until we get back to the point to where we know exactly what it is and that it's safe, we're going to be doing things from our home. I've even received commercials that they want you to film at home, you know, like in your regular day, you're around the house and stuff like that. And they're using that footage. If you look on TV, you actually see a lot of commercials where people are actually using the footage from their own commercials just to show what you're doing inside the house.
Wow.
So it is a time of creativity.
Yes.
I think that's really interesting because, I mean, you're now saying that somebody who might be unemployed or, always had this kind of, desire or actress bug could really use this as a time to look into that and probably would have more chances of being casted than probably with everything being at the way it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how much you guys know about the film industry. A lot of people think, oh, I could actually study for years and then they'll pick me. Sometimes it's about your look.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being in the right place. It's about having the right look. It's about that mom looks good with that kid on camera or something like that. It's not necessarily about the talent. So even if you don't, now I'm all for training. Trust me, I'm all for training and perfecting your craft. But there's nothing wrong with go ahead and getting those pictures done and saying, hey, we're out there. There's commercial print.
Right.
Don't forget about commercial print. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of skill set to do commercial print. You just have the right look. And now you're on a poster somewhere, or now you're on, I did a Georgia Furniture commercial, Georgia Furniture Mart commercial earlier this year. I was booked straight from my profile. They never called me in. I never auditioned for it. We ended up with 4 commercials on television. If you go to Georgia Furniture Mart Facebook page right now, you'll see me sitting at a table right there. And it was just so simple. Just a picture. It's just a picture. That did not require any skill set, but I got to check. So there are a lot of opportunities. If it's something that you've been wanting to do, there are a lot of opportunities that at home, Actors Access, Project Casting, they put out in-home auditions all the time where people are just looking for Verizon commercials. I saw Disney. There's a lot of stuff out there. If you do the research.
People are like, where do I go to find that type of stuff?
Yeah.
I'll give you one even better, right? If you look at the BET Awards this year, most of that was shot on green screen, but a lot of the content came from content that was posted on YouTube that went viral.
Yeah, from their homes.
The thing that you have to do is just post content on YouTube, and if it's good content, it's gonna get seen, and then you will get casted. Oprah Winfrey used a lot of content. She did her live. What is it? Where are we now in America? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
A lot of content from there. So the bottom line is we're running out of content in the film industry. So the content is being pulled from YouTube. It's being pulled from online. So
so I don't want to be like contradictory on our show. We're like telling people to own their content more and don't throw it all out there. And so I think it's about being really, that happens, and that's how a lot of people got started. They just got discovered. I mean, whether a song or something on YouTube. And I think the timing around Black Lives Matter and the protests and so many things really brought the looking for that information that kind of rose to the top. Is there a way, like, to, if you have a desire, or maybe you didn't have a desire before you started listening to the new Code of Wealth, and you're like, oh, I could be in a couple pictures, or I could do that. Where, like, do you go? I mean, should you go to Georgia Media Academy, or should you go to the film industry site to really start understanding dimensions and protocols and DPI and just kind of how to really position yourself? And I'm not opposed to just throwing some stuff out there, but like, how do you really kind of do it?
Yeah, so of course I'm going to say come to Georgia Media Academy. Because what we actually do is we train you and we help you package all of that information together so that you are prepared to put it out. But see, there's also a difference between having the content that you put out to gain recognition or to get noticed and having that information that you're trying to make money off of. So if I went with my friends or I shot a film that I'm trying to get picked up and make money off of, I'm not going to put that on YouTube. Because again, why would they buy it? This is a business. Why would they go pay money for it if everybody's seen it, right? So what you have to do is create content to get recognition and to show consistency in the industry. And that's what you do, through your YouTube channels and through your, Instagram pages and things like that. You have to constantly build your brand. and
Yeah.
show people that you're working. Same thing with you with real estate. You know, you have to continue to build and show people that you know your knowledge. That
Yeah,
and then
which is
people
where it's
trust you.
so interesting because I met both of you ladies on LinkedIn, you know. And
No,
that's
we
how I
actually, no, we did a panel together for with Kim McNair years ago.
Okay,
You and
yeah,
I-
the Women on the Move. When
Women
we're
on the Move
Women
Summit.
on the Move.
Mhm.
Shout out to Kim McNair.
Yeah. We did that years ago. That's initially how we met, and I think we just kind of stayed connected
contact.
after that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Cardellia, to get you in on this, okay.
This has been really interesting to me. So I'm learning as I
I
on
love
this
it.
side. I know everything when it comes to the permitting and the productions, filming, but this is also good knowledge to know. And I'm just going to vouch for GlenNeta right now because I'm one of her students. So this
That's
is
so cool.
Yes.
And we didn't know that she was going to be on here. I've been working with her on all of her interviews, and she's amazing. And I want to compliment you on your lighting too, because you look amazing.
Thank you. So I have a ring. Thank you very much, GlenNeta. And she told me about the importance of it. And so this is what it looks like when you have your ring and your nice lighting and, you know, just part of your presentation. So thank you very much.
You look really good.
And so when we talked, Cardellia, like in April, I think it was, one of the things that you said to me that I was really shocked about was that the amount of content in film creation, 80% still comes out of LA, out of Hollywood.
Yes, most definitely. The majority of your productions that come here is definitely coming from, you know, Hollywood. But we do have a large space for independent filmmakers that are right here, Georgia grown, to be able to put out content. And so hopefully during this downtime with everyone, like GlenNeta said, they've been working and honing on their craft and being able to, you know, work on it, because I'm sure with the different guidelines going on, major studios and stuff hopefully will be looking towards the state of Georgia as a whole, and honestly getting content for them to be able to shoot, or us learning after being on set and in so many different arenas here that the creatives will, you know, start picking up, you know, their pen and their camera and, you know, making good content and us being able to put it out on our own here. So
I think that's a great opportunity. I think this time, because with with it being a little bit more cumbersome to get the big productions and get people traveled and from, I think that leaves a window, because what we found during COVID is, man, talk about the need for content. And that's not going away with even some of these break pumping that's happening with more COVID spread. The need for being in front of your devices or TV or whatever is going to just continue to have that demand. So I felt like that in itself was like, I was like, wow, you know, you hear about Georgia and it does produce like a lot of jobs. I saw like 40,000 workers in production. So it does bring a lot of jobs, but the real creativity is still coming out of LA or Hollywood. And I think we could really do some damage of like showing you know, the world our creativity during this time.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to say something on that too. A lot of our principal actors and actresses on the leading roles are still coming from LA a lot of the times. And we get a lot of our background talent from our locals, which, you know, is Georgia. And the sad part is that some of the new guidelines, because now we're doing smaller crews and we're doing fewer locations and we're cutting background talent and going to visual effects, it's going to affect jobs. There are so many people who are, you know, doing background work and surviving off of it. It doesn't pay that much, but you would not believe how many people are on set and they go from one set to another like every single day and working 5 days a week on background films and commercials and things like that. So it's actually going to affect a lot of people on the background side of it. And that's why I would encourage people to continue to the worst thing you could do right now is to not work on yourself and not continue to get better and not get to the next level. There are virtual classes going on and you can update your headshots and your resume, and you can, you know, film some clips and put them up there to showcase your talent. Now is the best time to do that, to try to push yourself up, because if you're surviving off of background work right now, it's not going to be the same when we start filming 100% again. you know, and that's going to cut a lot of people's work. And I'm sad to say that, but it's true. You know, we're not going to be doing stadium scenes with thousands of people anymore. You're not going to rely on that check. So, you know, you're really going to have to try to get to the next level and showcase your talent. And they are looking for new talent. That's what a producer's job is to discover the next big person and to find the best talent for their productions. And you need to be one of them. So if you're not working on your craft right now and you really want to be on the camera, this is the time that you should be doing that.
Good. So what would you say is the new model, as well as you, Cardellia, for if I'm an actor, if I'm a producer, if I'm, you know, getting into the film industry, what is the new model? I know you have a privy to a lot of the meetings with the major production companies. What's the new model? How should I set up business and get into the industry now? Cardellia?
Oh, that was to me? Oh, okay.
Just from some of the conversations that you're hearing in some of the meetings, like
right.
what plans that are being formed, and how do you access? What are the entry points? Like a lot of people, like GlenNeta was saying, a lot of people start out by doing background work. You know, that's how you kind of get your feet wet and get to the industry. But you know, since things are changing and sets are becoming smaller, what's the new model?
Well, you know, still going to be the same way when you want to try to get in and work on sets as, you know, happen to start off, if this is your route, you know, in as a PA, and just getting the knowledge of that. And, you know, we have the Georgia Film Academy that offers the PA and then the PA Academy, but so that you can go through it, because even though, you know, I think your commercials and your independents are really going to pick up here. So that part of being able to get on, I think, will be lucrative when productions start coming back. I just had a meeting this morning with a independent producer, and everybody she hires with her PAs and everything, everything is done independent. They're not in the union. And so they're able to give them a chance as far as being able to work on set. And if you're just happen to be that creative and you really want to, you know, do your own project, whatever it may be, then, you know, work on your project, but don't have a fear because you don't have the funding. Because a few years ago, we launched the Creative Industry Fund with Invest Atlanta. And that's a loan that will, as of right now, you can get up to $50,000. And I do believe they're going to extend that. But that's with helping to curate your product, whether it's just about done or needing marketing, or, you know, need someone to help and kind of work on working with your productions to be able to make whatever movie or film or video it is that you're having. And then also the Atlanta Film Society, they have an investment class that they take and just show you how to actually get funds for your project, called the Investment Lab, excuse me. And it shows you how to get funding for your project. So, you know, you might find yourself
resources. Are all those at the same place? Because I did look at the creative fund that Mayor Bottom started, you know.
Right. So we do have Create ATL, which was just went into place, and it's a grant. So if you have been, you know, affected by working in the industry and being affected, then you can apply to, you know, get money to kind of help you sustain until, you know, your next gig comes. Whether the creative industry loan is one where you get money to help curate your project. So we do have two different ones. The creative industry fund was, or loan, I should say, was brought in, I think, right when Mayor Reed was getting ready to go out of office, and we did the joint venture with Invest Atlanta. We probably issued about 5 to 6 loans thus far, and hopefully, you know, be able to issue some more, and even on a larger scale, because we got some really great talent coming out of there.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, so that's the new model. So is that in Atlanta? Is that in Invest Atlanta? Like, that's how you would access those programs? Because I really like to give them nuggets that they can activate immediately. You know.
Well, so for Invest Atlanta, they can go there, you know, right now and put in their application to get funded for them to do their projects. Looking for the Georgia Film Academy is another way to kind of get in if you're looking to get your foot through the door. And once you get in there, be able to see, because it's so broad behind the scenes, and I don't think everyone realizes how broad it is behind the scenes of what it is that you can do. And even thinking about PAing, you know, whether it's in the office or even on set, or, you know, getting in and learning how to do locations or scouting. It's so much that you can do on the production side to get in. And so, yes, pulling up the GFA, looking at the PA Academy, a few things on Facebook, Georgia production community and things like that, that would help them be able to kind
And
of.
I saw those guidelines on georgia.gov too.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you can follow us on our website at setsouthatl.com, we have everything for the COVID guidelines, funding for individuals who have been affected by it. We keep it up to date. So I would say go to setsouthatl.com for all the update information in regards to, you know, classes and programs that we are going to roll out in the future, and then just knowing about the Film Academy.
Yeah, because there are opportunities. I know jobs are being taken away, but there's also jobs that are being created, because
Absolutely.
there will be new jobs such as monitoring the set to make sure that, you know, everybody is COVID-19 compliant.
Right.
So there will be new jobs that are being created, but the thing is, you have to get in the flow and get into the know of what the trends are. You know, that's why I'm glad you ladies are kind of laying out, you know, where the industry is headed and what are some of the opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think more than ever, you know, the local hiring is going to be, you know, really big going forward, because we don't have to worry about, you know, just flying and, you know, being away from your family and having to quarantine. I mean, you know, Tyler Perry has a brilliant thing going on where, you know, film and, you know, be right there on campus the whole time.
Eddie Reddington said over at Tyler at the Tyler Perry studio. So
yeah,
it's a nice luxury.
Yes.
That's where the industry is going right now. So, you know, just be creative and see where the industry kind of project where it's going, and then be creative and be a problem solver, so that, you know, the bigger the problem is that you solve, the bigger the paycheck is that you'll receive. You know,
and hopefully we'll amp up with editing, you know, here, instead of having it go back. You know, hopefully we'll be able to amp up with, you know, editing, which is a good way of making a living, especially if it's in the film.
Audio correction, a lot of that stuff will,
Correct.
jobs that will be created right here in Georgia. So
yeah.
You know,
And then just other opportunities, you know, I would tell people, you know, I always said networking is it. Like I said, you know, LinkedIn, of course, brought us together outside of, you know, maybe meeting one other time. But, you know, you have the women in film and television, and they do great platforms.
Yeah.
So become a member of that. Georgia Production Partnership is another one that, you know, keeps you informed. Never know what classes they might have listing as they, you know, collab with other people. So, you know, and then we have so many amazing film festivals here. And even though a lot of them are going virtual, they will come back. But even just volunteering and kind of getting through the door and kind of learning the lay of the land, because everything might not be production. You might want to go into acting or some sort, and, you know, all walks of life be at those film festivals. That's definitely beneficial. Yeah.
Before we switch over to GlenNeta, did you want to show her her video?
Yeah, so I wanted to share with you guys just a little backstory on GlenNeta. I know
on me.
Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute, look.
But, you know, a lot of people don't know that you have a Hollywood star, you know, so that's a big accomplishment. You know what I mean? So I salute you on that, and, you know, much obliged. So I wanted to share so people can see, you know, your acting skills and those.
Oh my God, you are not about to do this.
Right?
I have no idea what they're about to show y'all.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. Let's pull it up real quick here. Yeah.
And just as he gets that prepared, how long have you been acting?
Oh wow. I started over 22 years professiononly.
Okay.
I started acting when I was like in elementary school, you know, doing plays and things like that. I always knew I wanted to be in the industry, but the truth is I grew up with a single mom. and she couldn't afford to put me in the classes and things like that. So I didn't start acting professionally until I was 18 and could sign the paperwork myself. I went and signed myself up, and actually got my first commercial, national commercial, that I got residual income off of, which ended up being that commercial at 18. It was my very first commercial. I didn't even have any speaking lines, but I was a principal in it because you could actually see me like really up close, and I was like acting out. It was a Prudential real estate commercial. And I did that one, and I literally, and I tell people this because it was years ago, but that one commercial at age 18, I ended up getting over $30,000 in just residual income off of it alone. And I was like, yeah, I think I might want to do it. You know, that was a lot of money because I was still working, but that was a lot of money just off of one commercial. My mom was
something one time, right?
Yeah, to not have any speaking lines, but there's, you know, I don't do it necessarily for the money. I really do love the industry, and that's why I also teach, you know, and help other people.
That's why I'm going to speak up, because I love the way how you kind of made yourself or made layers to yourself. So you're not only an actress, but you also went to Full Sail. You also went to SCAD, and these are master degrees. These are not just bachelor's degrees.
Yeah.
What that does is that keeps you in the mix, that keeps you in the conversation. You know, so I want to share this quick 60-second video, but also I want you to kind of share how you did it too, because people really need to know, you know, how you did it. Like you just shared, you started at 18, and then, you know, other things led to other things, but you also really got educational background, which is I salute you for that, and you know, which is great. So let me share the screen really quick and play a 60-second video here that we found online.
Oh, Lord.
GlenNeta.
I know this is short notice, but I really need these entered into the system by 2 o'clock.
Let me bring the screen to the front.
Let's just get my popcorn ready.
Oh, goodness.
I know you've only been here for 2 weeks, but you have such a positive attitude, and you're a great team player. It hasn't gone unnoticed. We need more people like you. Yes. Push didn't talk. We're divorced. And what about the other children? Where are their fathers? Actually, he lives here with us. They all have the same father? Yes. Days roll by. One of the detectives who searched the home begins to have second thoughts. Does it seem weird to you in there with those kids? Just, you know, like, you were still. They just don't act like any kids I've ever been around. I want to go home. Oh, wow. Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Okay, so just want to share a little bit of to show off those acting skills.
I'm going to send you the updated reel next time. That last clip, that's my real son. That's my oldest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of looked like you. I was thinking that. I was like, that looks like that could probably be our son.
When I was watching that, because I want to talk a little bit about the kids and the business, and you're, you know, definitely leading that charge of having 3 of them and being but I think what's amazing is not only did we go from having like more than 3 networks or stations from, like, you know, CBS, ABC, you know, that all the cable stations that we had, and then now streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just seemed like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking of that when I saw like TV One, or, you know, the different, you know, where it was just like, you didn't have that much access. And it made the pool so limited, because it was just like only this. I would love to talk about how you guys are seeing through Black Lives Matter and this push in you know, just in Black culture. You know, what are you seeing in that? But I also want to make sure we talk about the kids. And so if you could lend, you know, your voice to those 2 items before we have to get out of here, I would greatly appreciate it.
You want to talk about the digital platforms?
Well, I want to talk about the children in the business, and then talk about like what we're seeing as far as how Black Lives Matter is impacting the Atlanta film and what you're seeing from opportunity standpoint.
Yeah. With the children in the industry, wow. I mean, I don't really even know where to start with that, because I started, you know, specifically with my 3 children, and my oldest is now, he'll be 16 next month, and he's been acting and modeling since he was 18 months. So because I was in the industry, I automatically put them in it. You know, it wasn't like they were just like, oh, we want to do it. They saw me on television, so they were like, oh, I want to be on TV too. So I put them in it, but at any point, it's a lot of work. Like, it's literally a full-time job per person, just even with myself. And that's not including producing and running the academy and the foundation and stuff like that. So at any point, if one of my kids say, I don't want to do it, then they're out of it. Trust me, like literally, because it's so much work that goes into it. And I tell people that all the time, if you do have children that are interested in breaking into the industry and they're very passionate about it, then go all in and put them in it. They're going to do well. And those are the kids that I really enjoy working with, the ones that want it so bad, the ones that are at home creating their own TikTok videos and creating their own characters, and they're writing, and they're just, you know, all into it. Every time you see them, they're winning over a room. Those are the kids that are ready for the screen. If I put you in front of my camera and you freeze up, or I pull you away from mom or dad and you're shying up and you don't really you're not quite ready. You just need to be in a class to be, you know, around other creatives. And that's a way that you can try it too. To see, and I teach a class, I know, Sonia, you know this, but we do a breaking into the industry course called TV Ready Kids. And I've been doing that program for like 5 years. And what you do, you bring them to me, and we teach you everything about the business. We teach the parents about working with the agents, and about building out their resumes and the headshots, and what should they wear, and what should they be doing at home, and all of those type things. But then I take the kids and I put them on the camera, and I teach them how to slate and how to interact with, you know, the people in the room. Because if you take your kid on set, they're not going to have mom and dad there with you. They're going to pull them away and see, can your child perform without mom and dad being right there next to them? You know, and are they going to actually, you know, still have that same personality? So I put them on camera, and I run commercials with them, and I run scenes with them, and then I partner them with other kids and let them run scenes together. And sometimes for kids, you just have to put them in a creative environment that they will thrive. And a lot of kids, you're looking at them like, oh, they talk too much. They're always, you know, doing stuff. They won't sit still. But honestly, if that's the only creative in the house, and everybody else is like into something else, they don't have anybody to run scenes with, or create characters with, or be creative with them. And you have to put a creative in a creative environment. And that's why acting classes are so important, because my husband's not a creative. He's, you know, strategic with real estate and things like that. But you put me in a room full of other creatives who speak the same language and do the same things, and then I'm just like, I feel like I'm at home. You know, I feel like I have a place that I can express myself. So it's the same thing with kids. If your kids are kind of all over the place, and they're, you know, they have all this energy, and they are always creating characters, and they have, you know, role models on television, you may want to put them in a class so that they have somewhere to express themselves and to be around other creatives. That is very, very important with kids.
So how much
That's so interesting.
is there a social media page?
Say that one more time, I missed it.
On attending those classes, how do they gain more information? Is there a website, a social media page?
Yes, absolutely, all of that. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. Georgia Media Academy. Just search for Georgia Media Academy or at GA Media Academy. But you can get to everything at georgiamediaacademy.com. So we just released a virtual summer camp. Last year we did it in another studio. We opened our new studio in January, and then COVID hit. So that was like a slap in the face, but studio's still standing. That's great. But online at georgiamediaacademy.com, we have an introduction to filmmaking these are kids 12 to 16, introduction to filmmaking. We have introduction to screenwriting, and then we also have improv. So we have an improv party every Friday for the rest of July that they can register for. It's only $10. So yeah, and it just puts you in a Zoom room with other creatives. If you're sitting at home and need to burn some of that energy off, we're just gonna be doing some improv. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. The kids get really excited. But yeah, so
Are they put in by age group or?
Yeah, if we have enough, we break them up, some into, the youth, and then we have our teen classes as well. But all the classes that are online, it ranges anywhere, especially the Creative Writers Program, we range anywhere between 12 and 16.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're watching the New Code of Wealth with Rick Mathis and Sonia Booker. We have about 10 minutes or so before we wrap up. So we want to make sure that you guys get your social media handles in and let people know how to reach you and get more information on the amazing things that you guys are doing.
Well, you can reach me on all social media handles at Cardellia Hunter. I am shy of releasing my published website. I'm very excited for GlenNeta to see. And if you want to reach me, at the City of Atlanta Film Office, just to learn more about the permitting process or how you can kind of jump in on some of those classes, you can reach me at setsouthatl.com, and that's our community engagement platform with all the latest up-to-date information in regards to filming in the City of Atlanta.
I love it.
I think that's so neat. And Cardellia, you actually had a background in film or production or journalism, and then being able to bring all that.
So my background is first of all, I'm going to shout out, I graduated from Grambling State University. So the Grambling Tigers. And so I was a marketing major. But when I moved to Atlanta 20 something years ago, it was a relationship that brought me into the music industry, where I worked at Hitco Music Publishing, which was L.A. Reid's publishing company. And I started off just being the assistant to two great people and ended up kind of just working my way through there. And before I left was the copyright manager. So I oversaw the copyright work from Organized Noise to Tony Rich to Beyonce was on there, Shakespeare as a producer, and left there and did a little bit in management for producers, and kind of staggered out for a little bit and raised my kids, and then ended up getting the opportunity in 2013 just to come into the film office to work just temporary part-time. And I was grateful for that temporary part-time. And so it must have showed up in my work, because I only had 2 days, but I was there, above and beyond. I learned the ins and outs, and soon just continued to kind of grow up, move up the ladder. And so here I am now. I share the co-director space with Falana Williams, who we also met back in the day in the music industry. So a good wealth of knowledge. And even though I've been out of the industry, the music industry, for a while, it was all about building those great relationships. So I still feel like I have my foot in the door when it comes to that.
I love it. I love it. So you never know what the next opportunity is going to lead to. So you can't be too big or too arrogant, to come in. You may have to come in sweeping the floor, taking out trash, or going to get coffee, running errands. But the next thing, you just have to be hungry and, commit yourself to being great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we close out, as far as with Black Lives Matter, we're seeing that a lot in LA with Kevin Hart's studio, and how LeBron James is really getting into content and media. And even just recently, Rick sent me some information about how there's a new Women in Film that is now designating a percentage, 15%, mandating, 15% by Blacks. And so what do you think, what do you see has opened up that wasn't there with all of the Black Lives Matter and the Black culture discussions?
Yeah, I'll jump on that. I'm seeing a lot of different angles, and where people are breaking into storytelling and being creative. So this is a time of storytelling, and that's what you're seeing a lot with youth and with women and with minority groups and things like that. People want to see you tell a story. So if it is about Black Lives Matter or the pandemic or all of it together and just the time that we're in right now, there's a lot of film contests and people that want to see your digital content that you're creating from home or with your own resources just to tackle that topic. And it's so important because you can literally hashtag Black Lives Matters and tap into everything, that's going on. But, I just want to tell people, if you do have a story that you want to tell, nobody can tell your story like you. You have to really control your own narrative. So it is a time of storytelling and, you know, just tapping into the digital and the video on demand content. That is what's going to be the new norm that I know of, you know, until all of this gets better. And you have to meet the industry where they are, and you have to pivot, you know, where if you were working on a show or some content that you were pitching to networks or, you know, production companies prior to this, you really want to look at those video on demand companies, those streaming services, and it's digital content. So you may not get picked up with a major network right now, but the digital content and the streaming services need your content. They need your story. So don't sit on your story. You know, if you have that, now is a really great time to get that information out. And we have a youth filmmakers program that we've been working on, and we're just encouraging our youth just to start writing their stories down. It's not going to be properly formatted or anything like that, but don't let that stop you from writing your story and putting it together. And then people are just asking you to pitch that information. So, you know, it's a time to be creative, and just, you know, don't be afraid to tell your own story and to see, you know, to tell people where you fit in to this whole thing. And, you know, youth activists, like our kids, you don't see our children on television or on social media as much talking about how this has affected them. You see the moms talking about, you know, and I'm one of them, how I've talked about I had to go into homeschooling 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school. Oh my God, and I might have to do it again. But you know, we haven't heard from our children about how it's really affecting them, and we should be listening to their voices. And that's why I do what I do when it comes to the Media Kids Foundation. We want to give our children a voice. You know, we have all these young activists, and we're not asking them what they think about what's going on. You know, so, you know, if you know someone, or there is someone that is, you know, has a program in place that can actually embrace our youth, or offer them some funds to film something right now about Black Lives Matters, or their encounter, or what they think about it, or how they think they can help make the world a better place.
Yeah.
You know, post all
tell
of
your stories.
Don't be afraid to tell your stories.
Are valuable.
Hear your voice.
That is
So
so good.
that. Yeah.
And I think the digital aspect empowers everybody to be able to share, and just be real mindful of how they're sharing, and like using, you know, certain things for marketing, certain things for sharing, and tapping into all these resources. I mean, that's what I've learned today. I don't know about you, Rick, but I'm like, I don't know, I gotta go write some, create some, do something.
Right here. I've been jotting down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a new code of wealth. I'm sorry, what you said?
I said it's a great time to write right now, to tell your story. It's a really good time.
Yes. What platforms would you suggest? You know, other than the YouTube, Facebook, like what platforms would you suggest that people can share their content on to be seen and get exposure, and to actually make money from too? I know Gumroad is one that people are making a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon as well. Amazon Studio has been picking up a lot of independent content from a lot of the independent filmmakers that I know personally.
I'm actually guidelines out there too of how. Yeah. I'm
actually working on a television series right now. It's funny because the video clip that you showed from the news, Jason Wynn is our DP. He's our director of photography on the television series that we're working on right now. And it's so funny because we're streaming it, and we're shooting a pilot strictly for Amazon Studios. So there are production companies, independent companies like Cardellia was talking about, that are coming together and producing content strictly for that. And it doesn't mean you have to go and self-fund and produce an entire series. You can go and produce a pilot, you know, and get it picked up. And then as the money comes in, you can take that money and you can put it toward producing the rest of the series if people like it. But yeah, it's going to take some work. I'm not saying any of this is going to happen overnight. And finding where we belong and what the industry is going to look like, that's not going to happen overnight either. It's going to take us getting back on set and creating this safe workplace so where we all feel safe. That's going to take some time. You
just went back.
We don't even really know what COVID is or what it's going to do yet.
Yeah, it's like, and it's changing.
Yeah, we don't know what this thing is. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to figure it all out. And like, oh, should the kids go to school? Should they not? We don't know. We don't even know what this thing is. That's what scares me the most, the unknown. You know. you know, my thing is just be creative, create your content. Do not let COVID or pandemic or recession, those words keep you from creating content. If you are a content creator, you should be writing every day. You should be creating with the resources you have. People are shooting films on their iPhones. People are shooting films. They're writing content around Zoom, like the cast never touches each other, and they're creating full films off of Zoom. Like we could create one right now, y'all. No.
Right. She'll direct it and everything.
Yeah, we got you. We're gonna put it all together. But you know, it's just people, you just have to really be creative. Don't allow this time to make you feel like you can't pursue your dreams. Like people need your content, and they may just need that angle or that voice that you have. And find a way to trend. I tell all my clients this, find a way to trend. So if Black Lives Matter is trending right now, you have a story that matches that, that's the content you should be putting out. Whatever's gonna get you further, and what's trending right now, that's what you should be working on. Find a way to fit into the industry right now.
Love it. Awesome.
That produced a film called Unsubscribe. Are you familiar with that one that they produced on Zoom?
I don't know if that's a specific one. I did see one that they produced on Zoom, and it actually won like a virtual award.
In the box office, what they did was they rented out the theater. They showed the movie in the theater, but they bought all the seats, and that's how the movie went #1. So, I mean, it's just about being creative, and it gained recognition. It got a lot of press because it was just a creative way.
One box office.
Box office when nothing is being released right now, right?
Got to be creative.
Crazy.
Yeah, so if nothing else, you got to be creative. You got to be creative and stay creative. And I'm finding there's so many people like Cardellia who are really taking this time to unite with their creative side. And I think we're all have some sense of creativity that we want to, bring forth. So I'm really excited, and I know that there's so many ways. There's never been as many ways to do it now. So we really have
there's no excuse.
So create. Rick, you want to take us out of here? I know we're.
So Sonia, how can people reach you? I know you didn't give your
SoniaBooker.com, and I always give out the 7 basic truths of wealth building. Go to the website, SoniaBooker.com. Cardellia got hers. She got the book. She ready.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. This is a good time to revamp myself. Yes.
She is ready. So go there and tap into all those resources that I give out.
Yeah, so this has been a great show. Ladies, you shared a wealth of information. Hopefully the audience got some nuggets to kind of chew on. And we cracked a new code today, Sonia. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is like, man, $9 billion just, out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm ready to come see your new spot too. We're gonna do some.
You're coming next week. I'm coming
next week. You let me know. I will be there. I might need to turn that. But
I called all my good girls. I was like, you gotta come see the space I have. And that was before I converted into a studio.
Wow.
She went by and looked at it and gave some pointers. And so it's so good to be able to call people like, hey, I'm doing this, and the support that you both have shown is just absolutely amazing. So I'm just it's just a blessing. And so I'll be getting that to give you a private tour. I look forward to seeing your new website. Rick, tell people how to get in touch with you. You're a filmmaker in your own right.
Yes. So you can reach me at Rick without the K, Mathis, and that's my IG, that's my Facebook page. We have a lot of exciting things going on, a lot of things happening. So, it's a great time to be alive. We're now being thrust into the digital age. So with the digital age, the gatekeepers are out to lunch. Let me tell you again, the gatekeepers are out to lunch. So now you can be creative.
I'm trying to figure it out.
So, so that's what time it is, just being creative and knowing that there are opportunities. Through the power of your imagination, you can imagine and create your own world. And that's what we're doing now. So I want to thank my Rolling Out family, Monson, Steve, and the entire.
Yes, shout out, Rolling Out.
Thanks for having us, Rolling Out.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. Can't wait to talk more.
Yes.
Everybody needs to go there, follow both these ladies, go Georgia Media Academy, tap in. I'm going to be enrolling my son on something that you have going on and get some of that creative energy out of him. I love
with the YouTube channel and everything. So,
Yeah.
So this
it.
is
Until next time.
ladies for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. And we will see you next week with a new episode of the New Code of Wealth.
See ya. Bye. Happy wealth building.
Bye. Y'all have a great weekend.
Happy Friday.
Stay